So namaste to one and of all my children, and this is a topic taken from geography, account on India's population size and distribution from chapter population, subject social studies, class 9th. And before we start with the topic, my name is CCL-IIT. I am from IIT University. So glad to explain you to my dear children. So let's begin with this topic. So before introduction and before going to in depth of the topic, we are going to see what exactly it is being involved, such as we need to understand what topics are involved, like account on India's population and size and distribution. In that, what are the main important things? Let us go. We need to know what is definition of census. We need to know what is definition of population. We need to know what is population growth in India, and the graphical analysis, of course, graphical analysis and the distribution types. Okay, so moving on to the next topic, let us go into depth topics. Let's go. So what is census particularly? Census is nothing but a systematically acquiring and recorded information. Like suppose we are taking some graphical data, we need some data, right? So it will be in scattered data, and because it's a vast country, India, for our country if you take, so what acquiring system, in the sense what data we are taking, we don't know. We need some particular measurement term, like suppose scale, length, distance, meters, like that, some length, some technical term we are using to get a perfect start for this procedure type. To get into that, we are taking up census. A census, it is mainly used in populations, so you can see them, आपको दिखाएंगे आपको, और इस डेफिनेशन को आप ध्यान से सुनिए. Census is a procedure of systematically acquiring and recording information about the members of given population. So इस population के जितने सारे लोग रहते उतने सारे के census में रिकॉर्ड करते. हम देखते हैं इस census का definition भी. This United Nations defines the essential features of population and housing census as individual enumeration units within defined territory, simultaneity and defined periodicity. Exactly the periodicity, yes, periodicity देते हैं हम. periodicity मतलब 1 year से 2 year से, और उसको मतलब they know, like if you follow periodical, suppose if I take 3 days, 2 days, 4 days, you know who are living in the country, who are going out, like there will be some technical terms, right? Some factors will be affected. So with respect to not affect the factors, we should maintain some periodic system, then only we can get a perfect systematic data, just like weather conditions, weather data. This is one of the type. Okay, and that recommends that population census be taken at least every 10 years. Exactly. So the 10 years being followed, the principle is being followed by now onwards. As you can see, 2001, 2011, 2021, and you can see the upcoming census might be taken. So let us see what will happen. What's the population range, and the upcoming slides will be featuring you the what exactly the slides and what are the slides, in the sense they have been deferred. Let's see. Moving on to the next slide. So what is population? You can see the population is nothing but people living all over the world constitute in the group of batch of the people. As you can say, in sociology, population refers to a collection of humans. In ecology, population of certain species in a certain area can be estimated using the Lincoln index. Something about index, okay, doesn't matter, okay, don't matter this definition. And I already spoke in the previous slide. There is a United Nations, the United States Census Bureau, and the world's population was about 7.55 billion in 2019. Nothing about the population, it's a simple term, okay, it's a collection of humans. And so we will study in the future topics like what is the effect, birth rate, mortality, death rate, like, isn't it? So these are the factors, so we'll study in depth. So doesn't matter, this is the topic, the basic introduction of population. So okay, next, moving on to the next slide. As you can see this graph, and this is showing the period of 20 years. This is a graph taken from the internet of Google Images, and this is a perfect, you can see this, to understand the population growth in brief basis on statistical studies. Exactly 2000 where the development doesn't take place, 2020 the development present generation, you can see, as not only in the present of lockdown but before lockdown also this is the same situation. So, and you can see what is the red color region being appearing low, now up, low, up, low, up. So this is a perfect start to understand what exactly you can see this graph. Okay, right, जानते बच्चे, right? So next चलेंगे next slide. So population hike in India. So what happens is population hike in India, and population of India is predicted to close to 1.3 billion. Just see, we are studying this population growth, population and census rate, so we need to understand where the growth is taking place, why this growth is taking place, how it is taking place, on what factors it is taking place, on what factors it might enable to take place in such a way that this population might affect, for which this global phenomenon of Indian country might get the total most pollution, it can exceed the topmost list. Just we are going to see the next slide, right? So this is the next slide. The population hike in India. As we know, the present generation, India is the second most populous country in the world after China. Exactly, the population of India is predicted close to 1.3 billion or 1,380 million in 2020, or 138 crore compared to 1.366 billion in 2019, right? So this is just, this is the particular numbers. Yeah, this might be vary. Yes, some birth rate, death rates might differ. We'll study. Okay, we'll study slowly on based on the factors, right? Population growth rate for 2020 is projected to 0.99%. India will add 1.36 crores to the current population 74th rank Somalia. There are 71.1 crores and 36.3 females living in India. This is just nothing but this is categorized with census, as we have discussed in the previous one. So this what exactly helps, right? How many males and females? This just suddenly happens to the survey being taken, right? So one person cannot go to Twitter and states and collect each and everyone that are who are born, who are dead. That is not the correct way. They'll take a particular survey, they'll set up, and they'll take every 10 years a survey is being set up, and they'll make sure that how many are there in a particular country. They'll add to the this is the best, the critically, crucially, what I mean to say is critically add sum, right? How many are living, how many, it's very difficult. So we must do very carefully. The members who are living, who are doing this particular calculation is very much critically involved in this situation, because this itself exactly describes the scenario behind what exactly population is differing from one state to another state, or if I say from 1 year, like it differs in a gap of 20 years, right? Okay, चलिए दोस्तों next slide में चलेंगे. So I told, right, what exactly मतलब मैं basics पता होगा. So this we will study in the next upcoming topics. It doesn't matter, but मतलब I'm saying that if we study this population hike or population growth, we need to know what factors are affecting, right? So without if you study the idea, we need to know little bit factors. Some basics patana, some basics पूछना, some basics आना, right? So if we see infant mortality rate, gender equality for education and employment, exactly. Culture, religion, yes, it depends upon the religion. Sorry, educational availability, exactly. The depending upon education, pension systems, yes. So we can see that some of the news, they are not living in the country, they're going dead because there's no lack of pension systems. Marriage age infertility, yes. Family planning system service. So we are going to discuss each and every point depending upon its factors. We are going to discuss. Okay, so nothing to study as early as possible, study slowly so that we can reach as a finishing touch that much possible. Moving on to the next slide, graphical analysis on population expected increase. As we have studied previous slide from 2000 to 2020, whereas in 2000 the climatic conditions are different, there might be less pollution. Like if I say population matlab living in a crowded region, like viruses might not be infected in that particular area, so population stability increasing. But if we see in the mid regions in this graph, you can see from 2000 some 10 to 2020 there is a slight increase and some dip, slight increase, nothing more dip, but it is going stability graph. This means that there is a death graph, some people are not there, death rate is increasing, birth rate is decreasing, you can see. And this is expected population to go stability if some pertaining situations occur. So right, this is a graphical analysis particular present situation status, right? So chaliye moving on the next slide. So we have studied what is population density, what population exact phenomena. So we are going to study what is population size in basic phenomena. Population size is nothing but number of individual organisms. Define the density with different size classes. providing and converting estimated biomass. This is nothing but simply I have explained all the previous. Okay. Next, population density, the number of individuals per geographical area, measurement of population per unit area. X density is equal to, if you like density physics, we can say density is equal to mass per like m cube, right? Density is equal to mass by unit volume, right? It is says that mass is nothing but population. Population मतलब it constitutes mass, like एक weight consider होता उस mass को. So measurement of population per unit area, one of the key geographical term, yes exactly we have discussed, ranks at 2, density at 461 per kilometer square. As in this topic, in this content, it is been discussed that population density and population size, which must be designated in numbers for our geographical purposes and idea. Especially we have taken this from the source of the social network, social geographical area. It says that it ranks at 2, density at 464 per square kilometers, equivalent to 17.77% of total population. That means some people will transferring from one place to another through flights, ships, trains, transport depends, so it might vary. So this is the not exact, it may vary. So 17.9, 17.10, 18.2 like that. Okay. So chaliye next, symmetric analysis, 1921, 1931. You can see 10 years, 10, next 10, 10, 10, and so you have seen from at all previously been discussed. Census is calculated every 10 years. So if we start it periodically, as we already mentioned that the factor is being justified periodically. So if we start periodically, we must not neglect it. If we neglect it, it might take very severe action, like on population might affect, like it is decreasing, we are not able to find equal meaning. So we have seat here. So 1901, 1911, C. So sorry, we are yet to wait for 2021 census being calculated. So we need to see what exactly it is being transformed. So we need to see, guys. That's why it is not there. Okay. You can see this, India's 50 most population country, and you can observe this graph. So you can study this graph, right? This is about symmetric analysis. That's why it is being followed. Okay. Next, exactly we have seen in size. Now we're going to see in density. So this is what it happened. Population density in instance. See in the whole, we can see the population density and size. Density and size are equivalent, but size is nothing but, if you are saying like it describes per, density is what describes per unit area, but size is nothing but it describes total what exactly we are accommodated. So that is the point. Symmetric size and density, and that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you, and we'll meet in next class. Thank you. Bye.